Hey friends, welcome back. I am going to do body, mind, spirit reading today because that's kind of my traditional one that I have. It's not that I've formulated it so much as it just sort of like is what started happening when I was doing tarot readings because I couldn't really do a traditional spread. I don't know why. It just like wouldn't sit with me in my brain. And that's okay. That's a good thing, right? So let me start out by saying that hi, my name is Dale, if you have never met me or seen me. And I do tarot readings along with many other things, but I feel like during times of my life when things have been uncertain, when I had nobody really to talk to about things, what I find most fascinating is a stranger being able to look at symbolism of certain cards and give me some insight that you're just getting this consciousness of recognition from somebody else, and the only place that that can come through is through us having a unified spirit somehow. There's really no other way. And when you have people around you and you are like so frustrated that they don't understand the effect that they have on your lives, negatively or positive, I don't know what to say, but it just seems like there's a lot of people around us who should know us a lot better than they do. And so that has always been my draw into like spirituality and tarot and things like that. It's like the symbolism. It's a story that's coming up. We have this need for like storytelling. We do. And that's what this is to me. So let me start out by saying that if you want a reading, it's $30. Okay. And do you know why? That's because I think working for $30 an hour is acceptable. Like that is what I would just prefer my hourly rate to be. So the way that I do the readings is I start you out usually with a body, mind, spirit reading, just like this. All right. And it can extend anywhere from usually they're right about like 45 minutes. And so that's why I would say I like to do a cold reading. I usually like to just do readings for people that like I meet in my local environment. I'm like, I think you're so cool. Give me your email address. I just want to do a reading for you and I'm going to send it to you. I send it as an unlisted YouTube video. So if you want a reading, it's $30. Okay. I have all my PayPal and stuff in the description. And then I just record it. I email it to you and it's an unlisted video. You're welcome to show it to people if you want. But that's all it is. And I never actually like get on here and say that. But because tarot readers are charging like $250 an hour or whatever, because they can. And $30 is not much, but you are welcome to like tip more if you want, because really everything that I do in my life, I have to be like a pure and clean vessel for what I am supposed to be here, which is sort of like the voice of healing. And it's not like I choose to do this thing. It's like when you're appointed to something and your boss is God, it's like good luck trying to do anything else because he doesn't let me. All right. He just doesn't. So if you want to vibe with me, let's do that thing. And then what we can do is like after you get your reading, we can schedule like a follow-up time where we can schedule another like hour where we get to talk and interact and you talk about like how that felt for you or where you're feeling uncertain, where because we all have sticking points. It doesn't matter who is out here in these like spiritual streets or just, anybody in this world. We all have sticking points. You can't be human and not have sticking points. You wake up and you're like, I don't really feel like getting out of bed. And then you force yourself to, or you don't, you don't have to. So I'm just saying, it's like no matter what, um, we can all use just a friend to understand us without us saying a word. And that's what I can do for you. And I like that because then I get to know more people on their like truth and their heart level. And it's so much more of a better experience of human interaction if we're just talking truth to each other and we're not doing that thing of like where I don't want to offend her or I don't know if she'll, whatever. So I wrote this question down just now. What would you do today if you could do anything? And immediately as I wrote that down, I started seeing myself of just like nurturing nature. It's like having my own land where it's not too regimented, it's not too planned out. It's like living in a natural environment. And what do they call it? The type of agriculture where everything just kind of grows naturally. It's one of the most effective ways because then nature stays true to itself and you're honoring nature for, like what grows well together and things like that. Ethno cult no, I can't remember. I don't know. But So if you know what it is, go ahead and throw that into the comments, and please get into the comments and just say some things of, whatever. I would really like that. But what I was picturing is like to touch growth, animals, plants, spirit embodied, right? It's like everything that exists is a spirit embodied, even if it's something that is human constructed. If there's still some embodiment of the energy of the thing that created it, though we have a lot of manufacturing. And I think that's kind of why we're like dying alive. We're like a dying species, and yet we're still alive because there's not the human contact and the human interaction in the things that we're creating. And if this is the way that I can do it just by in this verbal storytelling that I'm doing here, it really kind of means a lot more. The interactions that I've had through doing readings for people, there's such a deeper interaction, and you can't put a freaking price on it, but I don't mind $30 an hour. If you vibe with that, I vibe with that. And if you have more money than I do, then go ahead and throw me some more cash, because I am planning to start teaming up with people. I got a good friend in the Mediterranean, and we are going to be working on creating a retreat together. Okay. So these are the types of things that I'm trying to build my money towards and grow towards so that we can all get together. It's like, I don't care how many viewers I have. I don't care how many subscribers that I have. If me and my girl Dora, if we get like 10 people to be there on this retreat with us, and we just get to vibe so deep with nature and with like the true energy and the essence of what we all are, that's all I need. That is all I need in life. Like I'm an introvert because if I can't get out in the world and like have that type of connection with people, then I don't want to do it. I don't want some cheap substitute, okay? So, come and grow with me here and let's be friends, and it'll be fun. So let's get into this mind, body, spirit reading. I always say it wrong because mind, body, spirit is like what we're so used to saying, but body, mind, spirit, okay? So I'm gonna light us some incense, and I know not everybody has all the time in the world to be listening to this stuff. So please, by all means, listen to it in double or triple speed. That is my jam right now that triple and quadruple speed is available. I definitely do triple speed on most things. Um, because it sharpens your mind. It sharpens your mind and your power of attention. And I have been diagnosed with ADHD, and it's not a real thing. That is not a real thing. It's like people who are seers, they're bored with the concept of like what it is that we're supposed to be paying attention to because it's all not real. It's like this projection of this marketing game of what the industrialized world wants from its people. Yeah, we're useful, we're here to be used, and we're here to use others, but let's do it in a good way. Let's do it for friendship and community and stuff, and stop letting us like empower this system that is not good for us. Let's keep moving forward. Florida water. All right. So yeah, that system that I'm talking about, that's kind of what's representative of when it comes to when we get into the body space of what's going on. I just have some little like crystals and things around here that you can't see, but I got a lot of stuff here. And what was the other thing I wanted to do? A little bit of sea salt, because I like it to increase our electrical conductivity, because in the space outside of what we see in our physical world, there's energy, right? The heart space, they say the energy extends about 3 feet beyond us. But in actuality, this like extends infinitely. All of our energy extends infinitely. So when I increase my electrical conductivity here, oh, it's making me sneeze. And we are more interconnected in the energetics of what's going on here. Okay. It's true. It's real. Believe it. And then you get to enjoy it more. So I shuffle these up. I put them in. I don't look at what it is until it's time. All right. The tower. We got the tower in the upright. So that means that the world is chaotic. All right. We already know that. And what it means is that there is going to be some movement that's about to happen, because we are in somewhat of a fracture of light and dark, if you want to call it that way. It's like the people who are really tapping in and realizing that life is meant for more than what we're doing with it right now. I'm gonna put this down to where we can see it. Um, we are splitting into two different dimensions. Now, this is not how I would normally do it. Normally, I get six out. Let's see what we got here. Oh, the world. This is exactly representative of that. The Knight of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles. So interesting that these all came in the upright because they were all, yeah, I just saw them recently in another reading and it was like all upside down, except not the world. But this is what it is. This is what it is. It's like there's a new world forming, and there's like just in representation of what this could mean for this new world, it's kind of split into two ways. All right. It's split into those who want to stay stagnant and think about money and be immature about it, and those who want to use their wild energy and the horse that they are empowered upon in order to move towards passion. Okay. And that's what we're doing. It's this great divide. And here's where I'm at. And here's where I hope you are. And here's where everybody else is going to be at. Now you let that crumble. Okay. The tower is saying that we need to let that crumble. But anyway, let's just go ahead. And because this is what I would be doing for you. If we were doing a reading in person, I would have you take the salt and take the Florida water and stuff like that. And then you would choose your 6 cards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the 6 cards. And what it does is it forms this downward triangle in order to show us what's filtering down into our lives. And it gives more of a sense of like past, present, future. There's a bit more, I allow for reversals in the upside down or in this body physical world just because we need more meanings for the mess that this world is. All right, but 6 of Pentacles, that is a great meaning. And that means that we are getting equal give and take. For those people who are like choosing the right side of the world to be on, it's like you've done that your whole life. And now, because the split is happening, you are going to be with people who understand because they've been doing it too. All right. And so we're going to have this space in this earth world where we get to enjoy the people that we are around and we value each other. We all value each other. The 8 of Pentacles in the reverse, the 8 of Swords in reverse, and the Knight of Cups in the upright, which means that there is like normally the 8 of Pentacles in the upright means that you are working on a craft. You keep your head down, you work hard, and it's like you don't have to do that anymore if it's in the reverse because you're not in a mental prison, right? The 8 of Swords to have this like 8-8, that's really nice. So this might have started for you around the 8-8, what they call it, the Lionsgate portal, right? So like August 8th. So this might have started for you at that point of where you're like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to keep working so hard just because I think that like I should stay in this until retirement or whatever. That is just an illusion. They're just words. When people say like, oh, you can have a 401k, you can do this, you just keep your head down and keep working for us. It's like, no, it wasn't fulfilling. It's not fulfilling me. And the one thing that I'm going to keep my focus on is moving forward, and I'm going to let God guide me. When I see these horses, that's what they always mean, is that you are on the back of God's purpose for you. And when that purpose is to hold your cup full, your emotional cup, your heart, you have to move at a pace at which you are going to see the pitfalls around you so that you don't dump that cup. Okay. And this is what you're doing. And perhaps that is why it started back in this like 8-8. And that's what we're looking at, is because you're like, no, I'm just moving steadily along here because this doesn't work for me. And this is what I care about. And I'm willing to wait it out. I am willing to wait it out and take the journey slow so that I can get to this kind of stuff. The Lovers and the Page of Swords. And so there's this like, oh, the Lovers in the upright is bridging the 8 of Pentacles and the 8 of Swords in reverse. So there's something that didn't work out. There's something that didn't work out because you were putting a lot of time and effort into it. And it was like you were stuck in a mental prison of where you're like, if I just keep working harder, this is the relationship that God wants for me. And it's like, no, that's not, it's not. And we get so confused because we can't hear directly from God in a voice. Okay. Though we can, because this is what this is. It's like the Page of Swords is like, oh no, we need to get real obvious about what this is. And we need to cut out this nonsense of the past and realize that the thing of like, you're not in a mental prison anymore, and you are putting your heart first, right? That is the most important thing now. And so what you have to do is you have to be like a little bit like this child with the sword of like where you're kind of excited to have it and you just want to use it. So you're just willing to like cut people out real fast if they are not vibing on this because you realize how much time you had put into this and it was false. It was an illusion because it was like the other person wasn't really there in the essence of what they were talking about. They were being just like there in their words and not in their self. And you're like, I'm not having that anymore. I am walking away and I will cut anybody who tries to come near me with that mess again. Like that was a huge waste of time. And then at the bottom, it's like the fool is in reverse because there's like a dual meaning, right? If the fool is in the upright, it means that you're on a new journey. But it's like you're not willing to be a fool anymore, okay? Until it's almost like you're so strategic now that you can go forward in faith without it being like this fool, like la da 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 da. I'm just about to step off of a cliff. Okay. So you've got some stuff that is going on that is moving you finally in the right direction. Okay. So it's like six, the Six of Pentacles. It makes me think, what would 6 months from August be? 8 plus 6 is 14, which would mean it was like February. Is that right? Okay. So I think just the drastic change that is going to happen in your life from the point of August to the point of like February, that's where this has occurred, I think, of like where maybe even you are in a better space to be able to give because you've opened up this new world for you as you move forward in your emotional space and protecting your emotional space. At the bottom of this deck, now this is our deck, and we've got the ace or sorry, Page of Pentacles, which is it could be a message of like new money coming in, but what it looks like to me is like just this sort of wonderment of how you hold money when you have earned it, when you're not doing that thing of working for others. And that's kind of what it might seem to me is that you are moving into a mental space of where you're so sick of like what doesn't work in this mess of a world that we're in that you're like, no, no, no. I see gold in my mind and I see this concept of a creation. And you might just finally have been pushed over the edge like the fool to be able to decide that you are ready to start a side hustle, okay? And I don't care what it's about. I do not care what it's about. Just do something. And even if that side hustle is like just gathering together in groups to see like new inspiration, okay? It doesn't have to have anything to do with money. It could just have to do with the fact that you are like starting to find yourself in new spaces because you're over it. You are over it. You're over being stuck by somebody else's ideas and that is cool because you're going to see the riches that flow out of that. All right. It's a death of that old nonsense. That's what we got. The Ten of Swords at the bottom. The death of the old nonsense. All right. We got a Three of Pentacles. We have a Five of Cups. And we have a Four of Coins here. Pentacles. Okay. So there is some separation. Oh my gosh. Let me see how I can explain this. There's this concept of wanting to build together, but there is like heartbreak has prevented that from happening. And what I see in this is like that concept of where we were looking at the lovers before and bridging together the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of what was it? Let me look at it so I can see it here. The Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. Okay. So the Eight of Swords is like the mental prison. The Eight of Pentacles is like working on your craft just steadily because you know the power of doing that. So it seems like that lovers situation that was going on was like where it was like this. Okay. It was like this Three of Pentacles where you thought, oh, we're going to come together and we're going to build this beautiful stuff. Well, that's not how it ended up happening. All right. And so you realize that there is this concept of like holding on, right? Because it moved from the Three of Pentacles to the Four of Pentacles. And it would be good to hold on to something if you had built something together. But it's like there was this break. There was this break in the sadness that happened because it wasn't what it was cracked up to be. Your mind knows this, okay? So you're sort of like holding on to your own stuff. Like, oh no, I'm not letting anybody take this from me again, right? Because I understand that what this concept was supposed to be of the lovers, like where we think of Two of Cups as like a lover's card of like a coming together in the emotional heart space. And yet this Three of Cups tipped over is like when people come together and instead of bringing each other more joy, it's like you bring sorrow, right? So there's like, this was really what I wanted. I wanted 2 of cups, and it freaking spilled all the cups. It broke down what we were supposed to be doing together. So now I'm holding on to dear life, to my like foundation of what I have, my surroundings, my independence. All right. So let's see what's going on with that. The tower showed up again in this deck. All right. The tower here, let's see. And then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune could not turn in your favor until this tower happened, right? And that's what this was. That's why it was so devastating, was because you were like, why would you come into my life and destroy things when what we had come together for was building? What is up with that? How do you not see that? Like, everybody's cloaked in their own illusions, right? And so are you. You're like, oh, if I can just like hold on to everything I have, then I'll be safe. And it's like, yeah, but also that doesn't help you to get to like the 6 of Pentacles, to where like you're not letting anybody give to you or letting anything come in, and then you don't have the abundance to give to others. So there's a concept of, all right, what you need to hold on to is what you learned from this, because this tower allowed the Wheel of Fortune, like this 5 of Cups. Look, if the wheel were turning and it was going all around the world, right? Let's say that this is the world, but it's not. We did see the world in the other one. But let's say that here's the spilled cups. So the wheel turns until you get back to the 2 of Cups. Well, that is what is going on. And it's because you held on to your own. It's like sometimes you're doing this out of defensiveness, and sometimes you're doing it out of like protection and investing. But because this whole process took place, now it is moving into a place of where, well, let's see what comes up on the next rung of the ladder here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. It doesn't matter that this 3 of Coins never happened. This 3 of Pentacles never happened, because somehow out of the 3 of Pentacles, you still gained another one. You gained a 4th Pentacle, and you held on until the wheel moved in your favor, so that what you become, because you got rid of this, right? You got rid of this like fake crown up in here, that you opened up the space for you to ascend onto your throne. All right. And this is all, it's like all taking place in the mind. So that's where the mind can be a tricky place, because you can get lost in like the sorrow and the holding on and the frustration with why it didn't work out. But if you move all this stuff in the right direction, then you learn what to do with it next time the opportunity comes around. And that's where I'm seeing it's like, perhaps you're in the midst of the opportunity, but when we see things in our mind, it's like we see it in a moment's notice, and then we're like, okay, now I want to be there. Well, you can't just be there. You have to go through every day, every single day, in order to get to the next phase. There's no true end. We never like just end. There's no end to a day. It's an illusion. Okay. So let's move on to the Spirit deck. Now, this is outside the realm of contrast. This is outside the realm of thoughts. This is the impossible where it becomes possible. And we have the 5 of Pentacles. Now, we're having a lot of Pentacles cards showing up. We had the 3, the 4, the 5, and then we had the 6. And so the 5 of Pentacles is representative of 2 different stories, okay? It's either that you're the one who's out in the cold, or you're the one who's protected up in the nest from what's going on down there. And you have been through this, all right? You've been through this in the physical world, but your spirit has always kept you protected up here until the time was right for those towers to fall, to get those people out of your environment who couldn't be trusted. They were given the chance, and they took their own free will to decide what they were going to do, all right? Now, you also have your own free will, and so this is just like a little snapshot of life that we're looking at here. And so it might vibe with you one day, and then you might self-sabotage the next day. And that is the blessing of free will and the curse of free will. All right. So understand that, and actually take these readings to do something for you. Try to establish a free will that allows you to keep moving forward. And what that means is to always be in a space of like where you are trying to uplift your energy. And this is where you have to get out of your head to do such a thing, because your free will allows you to like eat ice cream if that's going to make your day better today. Okay. But you have to know when to stop eating the ice cream. Okay. let's see what's at the bottom here. The Ace of Pentacles, dude. There's something going on, and it has a lot to do with pentacles and financial security and being protected. And so I'm just saying, keep yourself on a high vibe level. And some days that means eating ice cream. Then the next day, that might mean like doing something beneficial for yourself. Say you don't feel like working out, fine, go and take a salt bath that next day. Then the salt bath might detox you enough to where you do feel like doing a little bit of yoga or going for a walk. Just go out and look at the trees. If you have a dog, you have no excuse to not be out walking. But then if some shitty stuff happens around you, you might need ice cream again, okay? But if you just keep moving towards a more positive outcome, it's not about staying rigid to a plan. It's about staying rigid to the plan of trying to constantly work in yourself into a more positive, radiant energy so that people don't mess with you, okay? So that people like are just happy to be in the presence of you without even knowing necessarily who you are. They might just feel you around. Somebody's feeling the loss of you. Somebody was feeling the loss of you. Yeah, they're just like a mess over this. And then you went into an uncomfortable position because you were not willing to just like feel the loss of somebody and try to get a cheap substitute for it at all. You are not willing to do that, okay? And this, like, yeah, there's some heartbreak. There was some heartbreak about the breakup of what we've been seeing in the other levels of this reading, of like the things not working out together the way that they were initially planned on. This is why plans don't freaking matter, okay? Because people change their mind in the process, all right? And people will make these beautiful plans and they don't commit to them. They don't do it. They don't activate it. So you're heartbroken that the plan didn't work out, but you do realize that the swords are the suit of the mental space. Okay. So if the heartbreak is represented in the swords, that means that it's only mental. All right. And you can go through the mental discomfort of heartbreak by putting yourself into an uncomfortable situation until you achieve a new level of enlightenment to where you have separated yourself so far from that heartbreak, or even just far enough to realize that things will trick you back into the thoughts of heartbreak. And you don't need to do that. And so the more time that you go into that, you get tricked back into the heartbreak thoughts. And then you go into like the meditation of sitting with those uncomfortable feelings, crying it out, doing what you have to do, going to eat your ice cream, but never reaching back out for that cheap substitute or going back for what you already know didn't work. That is what secures you in this spot. You had the King of Pentacles in, where was it? In the other outcome, the deck right here. And you have it reiterated by your spirit saying, yeah, your spirit is empowered by it. That's why you're getting it in the mind space. You know, this is a crow deck. So it really doesn't have meaning to us, but we can see like this dude sitting on a throne. Our mind can wrap around that better. Okay. And yet our mind will get scared of that because it's like, well, I don't really understand like royalty and like kings and queens and stuff. But what you can see is this double reiteration factor of you having put yourself in the right position because you were willing to do the uncomfortable thing. All right. And that was to go through the heartbreak that had to happen because you weren't properly aligned for like this thing to go on with this equal give and take with your partner. It just wasn't. It wasn't. But you're finding it in a new realm of life. And that's the beauty of it. But it's like, you couldn't get here. You cannot have this. You cannot have this if you're going to focus on this. All right. And like blame God for the heartbreak or say, it's like to not empower yourself within your own beauty. All right. So we have got this felt like it was supposed to be like this, and I transposed it. So I'm going to leave it like this. And this is what happens, okay? This Seven of Pentacles, I mean, this Seven of Swords is the other person that's involved in this scenario where they like left you with a bunch of cutting words to say, like, you're the problem, you caused the heartbreak, you don't care as much as me because, like, I'm the one who's still like hung up on it and you just moved on and you're in silence. And it's like, look, this one right here, it's the same two crows, all right? It's the same two crows. This one is this one, and this one is this one. And I'll tell you why. This one was sitting on a sword that was grounded into the earth. So they knew the knowledge of what was going on. They knew the truth within them, okay? And they stayed grounded in it. And it doesn't matter how much this person hurt them in what they were saying, like, oh, well, I'm taking everything that's good about me and I'm flying off. And so, but then what happens is that what they did was they like flew off and settled down into this, like, they took all their swords and they're like, well, I'm going to hold on to them in my heart because they're watching you fly off. This grounded energy, it's like, hopefully that is making sense. All right. Because the person who wants to carry all the thought burdens and say that like their heart is more broken than yours because you've flown off or because you were just sitting still while they were like fussing at you and all that other stuff. It's like, well, okay, God gave you this strength when you were in prayer to kind of like heal this situation where you wanted the relationship to stay good. God gave you the strength to sit in uncomfortable places while you were, or to fly off, right? To fly off once it was time. Um, so that you could just endure the little sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt you. Names hurt the most. They hurt way more than sticks and stones, okay? And you really have to do a lot of healing work with that stuff. And that's where God was with you. You know, there's kind of like that footsteps poem of like, God, why did you leave me when during my hard times in life, I only saw one set of footprints on the beach. And it's God says, I was carrying you through those times. It wasn't just you, I was carrying you through. And that's what had happened is like, well, this person was like dictating who you were through their words and through what they think. God was like, no, I know who you are. Stay with me in this uncomfortable space. You're alone and you're safe and you're with me and you're going to hear just my voice because they have flown off. And that's what's going to lead you to the throne that I established for you. It's going to take you on the horse, okay? I am the horse and I'm already standing still because I already know where it is. I brought you here, okay? You just had to get in that space and be willing to let the other people go because I couldn't reveal that realm to you until you were alone. And now that is when you start to see growth in all areas of life. I think I saw what was at the top here. Okay, no, I thought it was the seven of um cups, but it's the nine of cups. And this is where you've achieved complete emotional abundance. And so you've learned to not look towards partner, right? It's like you're looking towards the sun. Your son is your partner, and that is God. That is God in your life. That is your partner for life that has achieved all of this abundance for you. It's your partnership with God. All this stuff couldn't exist if it weren't for that partnership happening. And then once that happens, then everything comes back to you. It opens up to you. It's in the space of when you feel like you don't need anymore. It's like because it's impossible when we are like bored or when we um see others being in relationships and we're like, I want that. It's like, yeah, you do, but we do it in a reverse order. It's almost like you're supposed to say like, what would you want in a partner and what would you want them to be like? Listen, if you think that you can list off the characteristics and traits of your proper partner, you're thinking about it with your head and you are not open to what God has planned for you. Okay? And what he has planned for you is just it's just richness. It's richness in the embodiment of your fully aligned self, where your cups are full. Okay. Don't be afraid of getting so full of yourself that you don't think that you'll ever draw somebody in or you'll miss the opportunity for partnership because you're just going to be this like independent thing. That's not how it works. It's like you better be full of yourself or you're going to be full of somebody else. You don't want to do that. You don't want to have to, you don't want other people putting poison in your cups because they want to sit there and judge you for who you are and what, based on what their feelings are, based on the feelings that they get from being around you. It's like initially people will feel love from being around you, but then they'll feel envy because they see that you are more whole than they are. And so they'll try to break you down so they can empty you out, and so you can get down to the level that they're at. You already know the truth of what that is. You don't have to go back to that. So I'm just going to leave this reading off at that. All right. I love you. I hope you like it. Again, email me at cohesion through chaos. It's in the description. My PayPal and stuff is in there. I want the payment first before I send the video. But that's as easy as it will be is like you just send me a payment. I send you a video of your reading. It'll probably be somewhere between a half hour and an hour. And then If you want, we can schedule a feedback conversation where we can talk for like, you know, an amount of time. It can be on the phone, it can be or even like, yeah, we have to arrange it together because this is not just some cookie cutter thing. All right. This is you and this is me and this is the spirit between us. And, I want to get to know that whole experience better. All right. So email me cohesion through chaos. My name is Dale. I'll get it done in my own time and get it back to you as quickly as possible so we don't have to try to schedule these appointments to make it work. And I hope to see you in the future. All right. I love you. Bye.